Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, and today we are playing a mono blue flicker deck.
You flick too hard, damn it!
Revolving around Quantum Riddler and Anticausal Vestige really. So Quantum Riddler, you can walk for 2, otherwise it's a 5 mana 4/6 with fly, which is pretty good stats. When it enters, we draw a card, and if we have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if we would draw 1 or more cards, we draw that many cards plus 1 instead. That's not necessarily relevant in this deck because we're most likely going to have a pretty good hand. And then Anticausal Vestige is a 6 mana 7/5, and we can walk it with 4. And when this creature leaves the battlefield, we draw a card and may put a permanent card in mana value less than or equal to the number of lands we control from a hand onto the battlefield tapped. So we warp it for 4. Most likely we are going to be able to put a 4-drop into play, but that can be a land, so it can be a way to ramp. And then basically the new card from through the Omenpaths is Spectral Restitching, a 1 and an X, exile X target artifacts and or creatures, return exile cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, and then using an old card, well, from Bloomburrow Splash Portal, exile target creature we control, then return to battlefield under its owner's control. If that creature is a bird, frog, otter, or rat, draw a card. Not really relevant, but we do have a frog. And basically with these 2 cards, if we warp in a Riddler or the Anticausal Vestige, we can cast these. Obviously Splash Portal is a sorcery, and then they leave the battlefield, they come back. So, and because they're not counted as warped, we don't have to exile them at the end of our turn. So Quantum Riddler, we would draw 2. Anticausal Vestige, we would get that leaves the battlefield trigger again. And the rest of the deck is built around this. So we have 4 copies of Dowerport Mage, also from Bloomburrow. Whenever 1 or more other creatures we control leave the battlefield without dying, we draw a card. Obviously exile them with a Splash Portal and Spectral Restitching does account as leaving the battlefield without dying, so that would draw us a card. And if we do it to the Riddler, we warp the Riddler, draw a card, say Splash Portal with the Riddler, draw a card from the Dowerport Mage, then draw a card when it re-enters, so that's pretty good. Jill, Shiva's Dominant is mostly against our opponent. When it enters, we turn up to other 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, mostly against our opponent, but we can bounce our own things if we need and then recast them. And then finally, Ishtola Rule is kind of the top end, a 6 mana 3/5, so not great stats. Beginning of a end step, exile target creature we control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then if it's the first end step of the turn, there's an additional end step after this. So essentially we get that trigger twice every turn, so we can get more enter triggers from Quantum Riddler, or leave the battlefield triggers with Anticausal Vestige, or bounce our opponent's board with Jill. And basically round out the deck, we have Ghost Vacuum for the graveyard decks, because the Cavero, Mindbit, and decks are everywhere. 3 steps ahead, and Long River's Pool for counter spells, and then basically 1 copy of River's Rebuke and 1 copy of Meringue, River's Regent, to help bounce everything as well. We do only have 22 lands. Lands are a bit of a sore point for me in this deck. Basically, you want 3 lands in your opening hand, or at least 2, and then draw another 1, just so you can get to turn 3, warp the Riddler and Splash Portal. But because we have a lot of card draw, we end up flooding out quite a lot, so we have gone down to 22 lands. So it's a powerful deck when it does its thing. I went through a run this morning, and you probably heard it in the tone of, you'll probably hear in the tone of my voice in the gameplay, of just always being on the draw and having really, really bad pulls. But so in some of the games you will see that it can absolutely go off. Fortunately, it doesn't always win. There was one epic game against a white-blue artifact deck that I think took 17 minutes, but we still lost. But if you can get everything going and get an Ishtola Raw, and obviously what's good about this is, you know, if you play the Anticausal Vestige and flicker it, and you have 6 lands, you can put everything, every permanent in your hand in the deck into play as well. So it's really, really powerful when it gets going, but it doesn't always work. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like, subscribe. I'll give a shout out to my patrons, Arcadius, Michal, Thomas, and Adrian. Thank you for your support. Thank you everyone else for your support, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. Our opponent goes fast. This hand is far too slow. This one isn't much faster. Oh good, Authority of the Consoles, everyone's favourite. They're killing themselves with their starting towns. Let's keep the graveyards empty. Well, hopefully we can draw that third land. So we can Riddler and Splash Portal. Three starting towns. They are killing themselves. Well, let's see if we can draw it with our Riddler. We can. We draw a couple more. What does this do? Double strike. I imagine they have ways to interact. But we do have counter spells, a lot of them now, but we are tapped out. Well, this is going well. We don't have any creatures now. We'll let you have that. All 3 steps to draw. If they don't play anything we want to counter. Well, let's get rid of a card that doesn't actually do anything at the moment. Wow. Let's sack our own. Let's get rid of our own Direport Mage. Well, we could. This will draw us cards. And gain them a couple of life. But I imagine they have more removal. Oh no, just to consult. At least we could bounce the Quantum Riddler with our Direport Mage. Or not. Well, we drew another land out of that. I mean, we can do that again. This is hardly the most riveting game of Magic. Oh, let's warp this. Let's counter that. I mean, we don't have any permanent put onto the battlefield. So maybe we draw one. We still get the leave battlefield trigger. Do you remove that? Maybe we should have gone exploring. Chico! Well, we don't want to exile that. Yes, this isn't the well, let's do this. We draw. We find a land, because of course we do. Let's hold up some counter spells. That art's gone weird. Graphics gone weird. We can Spectral stitch in the Riddler. Although I imagine it might get countered. Well, we still get a draw. Let's Anticausal Vestige. Let's use some of our many counter spells. Let's get another Direbolt Mage, so we do draw some more. And let's go keep a Ghost Vacuum for now. Well, there's the River Regent. They can recast something from the graveyard, but there's nothing particularly interesting in there. Probably a Rider's End. Oh no, that's not 3 or less, is it? But we do have a big blocker. Although they have, was it 8 in hand? Yeah, so I imagine they've got sweepers. Has that caused you to be salty? Just replay out Chico and get something back. Or not? Okay. Good fun. Yeah. Alright. You play a 3-colour control deck and then get salty when someone out-controls you. Although, not by a huge amount. We have drawn 4 more cards than you. You have 2 more cards in hand than we do. Absolutely pathetic. Fortunately, we don't have a "you are a child" emote. Should be. And because they were playing properly, they had 3 timeouts. So that's what, 90 seconds of just nothing. Well, additional 90 seconds. That doesn't include the actual time as well. Ah, diddums. Did you get upset when the game you thought you would win turned the other way? When one of the cards with the most powerful ETB triggers in the game gets bounced so you could just cast it again? Did that make you salty? Absolutely pathetic. We go first with not the best hand. Ooh, I think they're the meld deck. Well, we'll get in for 1 and just hold up Long River's Pool. Well, let us warp the old Riddler and then splash bottle it. Draw a fair few cards. Get in for 1. There is another World Wagon. We'll warp. And I'll miscount my mana. But we will be able to... What is River of Spook? Let's put in the Riddler. And next turn we can Ishtola rule Ormorang River region. Depends what they do. Crap. What do they have? I mean, I think that's worse for them than it is for us. That's Dowerport Mage. The question is, do they have... Oh no. Crap. I can do it again. We could draw into something useful. Well, I imagine they just get back Kona with the Phoenix down. But what do they have in their hand? Do they have another Extinguished Battleship? I hope not. There was a Day of Judgment. There was a Omniscience. They get Omniscience. We get a counter. Well, we're definitely attacking. I am not that fussed by Omniscience. Unless they draw into something very, very lucky. Which they might do. Land. There's another Kona. There's a World Wagon. What? Oh, just another Kona. Well, that does it. Should have attacked. Yep. See, not that fussed about Omniscience. We're on the draw. Two Quantum Riddlers. Are we up against... I want to say, are we up against the Razor Pass, but it doesn't look like it. Black White Spiders? Oh, Black White Life Gain. Well, I think we're already too far behind. But we will take 3 to bounce their Amalia. Why didn't you play out Aerith? They play out Aerith, we will counter it, or Halia, or you. Next turn we can warp a Quantum Riddler. And then for 2, Actually, no, let's swing in first. We draw a couple more. That's a lot of lands. We can Ishtola Rule next turn. You play out Aerith. It's a big, big life gainer. No, you play out Amalia. Well, let's swing in with the Riddler. And let's Ishtola Rule. We draw a couple of cards. And then we will bounce Jill, but we won't bounce the Amalia. We'll bounce Zora. Why do we have all these lands? And they draw a second Amalia. Amalia grows if it attacks. We will jump with a Dowerport Mage. Well, now we'll jump with the Quantum Riddler. I would like my River's Rebuke. We can't forecast the River Regent yet. Let's Splash Portal. I think that one. And we can hold up Long River's Pool. Great. Tons of land. We will chump with a Dowerport Mage. Target you. Ooh, are they? Yes, they are. Yeah, let's chump with you. Well, that's one of the cards we were looking for. Let's warp. And then we can, for 3, you, and I think we've got to take 3. We'll bounce you and bounce you. Amalia is going to grow. Bit of Triumph. Ooh, that sucks. Maybe us Ghost Vacuum. Irish Tola Rule. I'm surprised at that. Oh, I could have made it Amalia not block. But yeah, our opponent scoops. They wouldn't have needed a chump with Amalia, well, with either of them. But then we win. We'll give this a go. Blue-red. Is it VV? No. Well, we can Quantum Riddler. Draw a card. Well, we have a 4/6. Next turn we can Ghost Vacuum and just hold up Long River's Pool. Right. Ugh. Let's hit in. We really need some more action and less lands. Well, that's only a 2-drop, so that doesn't trigger the synthesizer. And I will counter that. But yeah, we need... Are they a weapons manufacturer deck? I think they are. And I think we've annoyed them. Oh no. Well, we can hold up Spectral Restitching. if they play a 3-drop, we can... Well, I'm telling, do we exile their synthesizer in response, or do we exile the token? I think we do the token. Are you going to repurpose the extruder? Yes. Maybe. Are they going to get saw blades? Well, no, because that one kills a Riddler. What are you getting for 2? Why didn't you just get another synthesizer? One, two. And we'll do you. There's a Jill. Yeah, so I was meant to do it on their second main, not their end step. What have they got? We can bounce a lot of their things with Jill and Ishtola. Relic's fine. And are you gonna... Yep. What they should do is get another repurposing bay and then repurpose the extruder or the foundry into another synthesizer simulacrum. Ooh, that's annoying. Luckily we have another one. Yeah, we don't want to bounce that, unfortunately. Well, let's get an Ishtola. Well, let's attack in, because I imagine they jump. They do. And let's... Well, they can probably just get another one, can't they? Let's Jill. And we will bounce the synthesizer. And we can research in for 2 if they get another warship. Gunship? Gunship. Warmaker gunship. And we will bounce you. Well, not bounce, but flicker. You can only repurpose them back at sorcery speed. We are going to get hit for 5, I imagine. If we draw land... Oh no, we could warp the Vestige, splash portal it. Put in Ishtola Rule. Oh, they had another one. Oh, are we going to lose this one now? I think we are. You. Warp. Splash portal. Put in an Ishtola Rule. Let's bounce you. Let's bounce you. Do they have another gunship? What are they going to repurpose that into? Why? They love repurposing that. Are you going to take out the dominant? Yeah. They have 3 mana left. They have 2 mana left. Hopefully they don't have a Saw Blades in hand. Go on. That costs... Oh, it does cost 2. Ooh. Let us warp this. What have they got? One, two, three. Yeah, this is my problem. They can do it at instant speed, but they didn't. Why didn't they? Oh, they could do that, yeah. Let's take a Clockwork Percussionist. Yeah. We can do that again. There's another synthesizer. I think we are screwed. Why did you tap the one that didn't have Summoning Sickness? What are they getting? We're both pretty much at half. Come on. Problem is, it's the extruders which are going to be the issue. Oh, have they tapped out? Not that it matters. We have to get very lucky. I don't know if we still have one left. You know what? Drawing half our lands. Yeah. That was... We flooded out a lot there.